The last round of the Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series featured a surprise return by defending series champ David Knight. Josh Strang challenged him until crashing into a deer. Paul Whibley and Nathan Canny couldn't maintain the pace. David Knight wins, but he's not racing this weekend, so who'll take the win now?
Playing in the dirt, face full of mud, sacrificing flesh and blood. Playing in the dirt, digging in the ground. All I'm asking you, where you gonna be when it all goes down, 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 down?
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Racer TV and coverage of the 2009 Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series. Jason Wygant back after summer break, and our GNCC bike riders are today as well. Lots of frustration during the 2-month break in the series. Josh Strang thought he had the series points lead in his back pocket until he hit a deer on the last lap of our last race at Snowshoe. Everyone got upset because David Knight came in and took the big prize purse, but David Knight won't be racing here today at Unadilla, so they don't have to worry about him. And there are a lot of other riders who do not feel the results this season indicate how well they have been riding. Talking about riders like Barry Hawk, Dad Duvall, Nate Canny, Kirk Caselli. The first 9 races didn't go the way they planned. Revenge starts today at the legendary motocross facility known as Unadilla Valley Sports Center. So what's on the mind of the racers before we go racing? Let's talk to them.
It's definitely good to be back GNCC racing again. We had a 10-week break and I feel good. I've worked hard over the summer and I feel I can make up the 13 points that I'm down on Wibbs. So I'm going to work hard today and hopefully get a good start and run up front and get the win and then move on to Yadkaville in 2 weeks.
I think it's going to take some plenty consistent results and definitely some more wins as well. I know Josh Strang and Charlie Mullins have been going fast, and I know they've put in hard work over the summer break just like I have, so it's going to be a close battle coming right down to probably the last race at Crawfordsville, I think.
Well, we know Wibbs and Strang are going to be the 2 guys probably duking it out for the championship, but do not count out New York's own Nathan Canny today. He won his first ever GNCC right here at Unadilla. He's a New York native. He's very familiar with the soil, and he's going to have a lot of fans out there in the woods cheering him on. And I also have the sneaking suspicion that Canny is not happy about seeing Whibley and Strang pull away in the points this year. Last year at this time, Canny was there battling with them week in and week out. He wants to show that he's not done winning races. Let's see if the hometown boy can pull it off and get to the start. All right, there's Whibley. He raced just about every weekend over the summer. As for Strang and Glenn Carney, they went back to their native Australia to recharge the batteries. Row 2, we have Caleb Russell leading the XC2 division, and last year's XC2 champ Thad Duvall now in row 1 of XC1. And there is Nate Canny, the New York native. Who's going to take it today? Let's go to the start. A thunder into turn 1, and Mullins goes down and collects several riders down with him in the first turn. Unbelievable. It is a guy with a Batman sticker on the front of his bike. That is Ben Bowens, a native of New York, does not race the full GNCC series, but he will collect $250 from MotorcycleUSA.com, grabbing the whole shot. And now Canny immediately seizes the lead. There's Jarrett, Strang, Barry Hawk in 4th, Bowens now back to the number 5 spot. Not bad though for the privateer with the open face helmet. There's Kenny Gilbert, Glenn Carney, Whibley, and Mullins, and Duvall, who was collected with him in turn 1, as well as Kirk Caselli. They've got a lot of ground to make up. We'll go back to the start now for XC2. These are the 254 strokes, and they've got a pile up on the inside of turn 1 as well. And just like in XC1, it opens the door for a bit of an upset. David Snyder of the Monster Energy Fred Andrews Racing Yamaha grabs the Cometic Whole Shot Award. And a lot of the favorites are in the back. So we'll keep tabs on these come-from-behind charges in XC1 and XC2. Looks like Jason Thomas has seized the lead as they get into the woods, and Corey Buttrick up into the number 2 spot. So the comebacks have begun already. Russell up to 3rd, and Josh Weisenfels in 4th. Jake Korn, a youngster, comes through next. Back to XC1, and Canny still in the number 1 spot with Jarrett in 2nd. Jarrett recovering from a broken wrist over the summer. Wasn't even expected to race today. Here's Strang in 3rd. He has got to be happy that his championship rivals are behind him. Now it's Hawk coming through next. Bowen still there in the top 5. Then it's Carney and Whibley. So Whibley and Mullins better get on the gas because Strang is in front of them. Here's your XC2 battle. Buttrick going after Thomas. And they put some distance between themselves and Russell. In fact, Russell has lost some ground. Weisenfels has moved up to 4th. So it's an opportunity to make a breakaway up front for the leaders. Kenny trying to do that here in XC1. Strang is now up to 2nd. And that is Whibley who's gotten up to 3rd. So New Zealander not messing around. Neither is Mullins, who just whipped by Carney. And Bowen's trying to keep pace. Good riding, Batman. Now onto the motocross track. Canny still in the lead. Jarrett and Strang as we drop into Gravity Cavity, one of the most famous obstacles in all of motocross. Hawk is 4th. Look at Strang going after Jarrett. Off of the motocross track now. Strang still not able to get by Jarrett. Then it's Hawk, Whibley, Carney, and Duvall and Mullins are within sight of the lead already. Now Whibley takes the lead over from Strang. Apparently, Canny got stuck somewhere, and look, he's got to make moves. He's going to get around Jarrett, go back after the leaders. Just getting started. This is crazy action early at Unadilla. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, Yamaha, and Honda Generators, the official generator of Racer TV. Well, amazingly enough, Paul Whibley has pushed his way into the lead here at Unadilla. Josh Strang and Charlie Mullins 2nd and 3rd. So the championship favorites have moved to the front of the pack despite some bad starts. Canny, Jarrett come through next, and then a pretty big gap back to Carney, Hawk, and Duvall. Remember, Duvall was there with Mullins early. Must have made some mistakes. Easy to spot, though, with the green boots. Now back to XC2, and it is Buttrick back into the number 1 spot with Thomas behind him, and these two are wide open. You hear them up on the rev limiters, and they have left Caleb Russell behind. So it might be a 2-horse show for the XC2 win today. But as we say just about every week on this show, these are long races and anything can happen. Back to the Unadilla motocross track. Gonna hang a left-hand turn and then drop into Gravity Cavity. Whibley with Mullins right behind him. I cannot believe Mullins is up to 2nd, and they're already getting into the back of some riders in other classes. We have amateur classes for a variety of riders out here, and these guys are good riders in their own right, but these are the best in the world who are putting them a lap down. Look at this battle. The Suzuki boys putting the heat on Whibley. And this moto track is super slick. You've got to bake it in hard. They will actually churn it up to make the dirt a little bit softer for a motocross race. Out here, you've got to make it hard packed, or the ruts will just be frame deep by the end of 3 hours. Thomas now back in front of Buttrick in XC2. And you can see they have caught Batman. There is Russell in 3rd, so he's not out of it yet. Now we go back into the woods, and Whibley still leads. Look at the rider on the left. He's putting a lap down all the way in the trees. That is 7'4". Here he comes. Rick Smits, a former NBA player who now races in our 40-plus B class. And the rest of the pros trying to get through this section. There's this traffic lines, ruts, mud, rocks everywhere. There's Hawk getting stuck momentarily, and now trying to get around one of those other riders. A little further back here, we have Kurt Trisselli, a West Coast rider. He has struggled big time this year in his transition to GNCC, and there is Bowens. And like we thought, he has the XC2 riders now right behind him, Thomas and Buttrick. And these kids, well, they want to go all the way to the front. And who knows, the way the action has been today, they just might get there. Stay with us here on Racer TV. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, Yamaha, and Honda Generators, the official generator of Racer TV. Nate Canny continues to lead here in his home state of New York, and what a lead he has. He has left these guys in the dust. You've got Mullins, Whibley, Strang, and now Duval. Hard to even keep track of who's who, and you hear Duval revving his engine, trying to force the slower riders out of his way. They better put the hammer down, because Nate Canny can go. Started the year off on a 302-stroke, now on a 454-stroke. So they had to do a lot of development to adjust that bike to his style. Now that they've done it, it's obviously working. Strang, Mullins, Jarrett, Whibley, Duval back here giving chase. There is Duval with the green boots. No one doubts the speed of Duval or Jarrett. Now, Jarrett has an injured wrist, like we said right now. Duval just had all sorts of bad luck this year. So let's see if he does have that speed and talent that took him to the XC2 title last year. Mullins still the number 2 spot, and our cameraman having a tough time even finding the rest of the field. All these lines out here. There it is. Whibley, and Duval has now got by Strang. And then Jarrett is trying to hang in there on the monster JG Racing Geico Kawasaki. And a little bit further back you have Caselli, who has now gotten around Hawk. You see Hawk and Duval running headlights. They have switched to WR450F Yamahas. They like having that electric start, a little more predictable power delivery. Canny maintains the charge in the lead. Mullins still in second. We've seen some great battles between Mullins and Canny in the past. And there's Duval up to third, and look at him hop up there. That's the kind of talent they're talking about. He's been able to get around Whibley and Strang, and remember, Whibley and Strang are the guys leading the points. So it's a big statement for Nate Canny to be maintaining the lead like this, and he does not stop for fuel. So this will be an even bigger lead, and Duval getting cheered on by Glenn Carney, who was on the side of the track, apparently with some mechanical troubles. There's Mullins out of the pits. There is Strang into the pits. And you can see, I believe that is Whibley back there getting fuel as well. Whibley's about to pass Strang after the gas stop, and he does. So good job by the Geico Kawasaki squad to get Whibley in front of Strang. And they've all lost a lot more ground to Canny, who is still yet to stop. Will he make it another lap before running out of gas? I hope so. Today we're going to check out the Tusk brake pad. The carbon brake pad retails for $13.99, and the carbon-based compound is perfect for all riding conditions. The benefits include less heat generation and conduction. And when ordering brakes for the front of an ATV, please verify how many sets you need. One set replaces the brakes on one side of the machine only. Also got the Tusk brake pad in sintered metal for $16.99. The sintered copper alloy offers high friction for increased stopping power. The high-performance compound ensures increased durability in wet and dry conditions. And again, when ordering brakes for the front of an ATV, specify how many sets you need. One set replaces the brakes on one side only. Check out the Tusk stainless steel Typhoon brake rotor for $59.99. This Typhoon rotor is made from a tempered stainless steel for optimal performance and durability and can be used with any type of brake pad. The Wave design not only looks great, but saves weight and helps keep the rotor cool to ensure consistent braking power. Top it all off with Tusk Motorcycle steel braided brake lines, $44.99 for the front and $34.99 for the rear. These brake lines are stainless steel with a protective clear rubber coat. The top quality lines will not expand, so they provide increased brake feel and maximum stopping power. All brake lines include new copper washers and banjo bolts, and they're made in the USA. Rocky Mountain ATV MC is the leading online seller of ATV and motorcycle tires, parts, accessories, and apparel with an industry-leading website, free shipping on orders over $99 in the continental U.S., and a huge inventory of in-stock items. You are sure to get the products you need at the prices you want, shipped quickly to your door. Visit the website, RockyMountainATVMC.com for more, or call 1-800-272-6329 to request a free catalog. Nate Canny still in the lead here. Jason Wygant giving you the call from Unadilla. But look who's up to second. Thad Duval on the charge. Down in the first turn, now to second. And they put some heavy hitters behind them. Mullins maintaining third. Where are the championship guys? First of all, a tremendous amount of lap traffic. There is Strang, who has gotten back around Whibley. So these two have gone back and forth all day, but they are in 4th and 5th. Not where they want to be. Is it time for fuel? Yes, finally it is. Canny has pulled into the KTM pit. He made it around without running out of gas. Now the question is, can he maintain the lead? And you can see the rain is starting to come down. That will certainly mess with your vision. And it looks like Canny's going to keep the lead. Now Whibley is up to 2nd in front of Strang and Mullins. Duval had to stop for gas. He drops to the back of that field, but he comes right back now on Mullins. Oh, and they take a rider down. Look at the fans just cheering them as they run down Pro Row. This might be the best race we've seen all year. Tremendous action. Seeing who's checking into the pits now, that appears to be Hawk, and I believe he's been passed by Buttrick, who's in the lead in XC2. And there's Russell not far behind him. So side by side dueling in the pits. Buttrick goes in first and gets out first, but there goes Jason Thomas to take 2nd place back from Russell. But there doesn't seem to be much panic for your championship leader in XC2. Maybe he's just going to be content to let Thomas and Buttrick tire themselves out. They're charging. Stay with us here on Racer TV. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, Yamaha, and Honda Generators, the official generator of Racer TV. Nathan Canny trying to get it done here in his home state of Unadilla. Got a lot of fans cheering for him, but he's got a lot of pressure on him. Paul Whibley has moved up into the number 2 spot after that last round of fuel stops. There is Strang in 3rd. And we have lost Mullins and Duval from this pack. So what was once a 5-rider shootout might be 3, but we've seen the order change so much today, I'm not going to make any predictions. Oh, bad line there by Strang, trying to plan ahead and get around some of the slower riders. And Whibley has made the move. Paul Whibley into the lead. And this guy is so strong, so steady, so smart. It's paying off. XC2, Buttrick in front of Duval. And the report is that Jason Thomas has crashed hard and is back at the number 3 spot. And now Canny has taken the lead back from Whibley. Every time we check in on this overall lead in the XC1 class, it changes. Just did again. Whibley in the lead, but he has to stop for fuel, and I don't think Canny will because he stopped the last time around. So while Whibley's in the pits, Canny keeps going. This is Nate Canny's opportunity to sprint away and win this race. Now the word is that Strang has bent a shift lever and lost time in the pits, and Thad Duval has crashed out. So it's down to these two, and Whibley is back into the lead. I've got to think the lap traffic was a factor here. Now 1 lap to go. The white flag is out, and there's Canny not too far back. Sometimes it's kind of like the draft with this lap traffic. It's better to start the last lap in 2nd. And look, Canny has taken the lead back again. I can't even keep track of all the lead changes today. There is Whibley. He will not get tired. He will not give up. And you're not going to believe who's moved up all the way to 3rd. Kurt Caselli, who was about 10th early, has passed Charlie Mullins to get to the number 3 spot. Mullins struggling. We mentioned the trouble for Duval and Strang. Canny has lost the lead to Whibley again. He's on the chase. Look at this battle of the last lap here at Unadilla. Another thrill on a racetrack that has delivered so many great races in the past. Running out of time. Whibley still the number 1 spot. Does Canny have time to track him down? He'll put the hammer down on the Shock Doctor KTM. But I don't know if there's enough distance for him to make one final pass and win it for the home state fans. And it's not going to happen. Whibley into the final corner is going to make a statement. He wins at Unadilla and extends his series points lead. Canny is going to end up in 2nd, and what a come from behind run. Kurt Caselli is finally back on the podium. Let's go to victory lane.
Beginning of the year was pretty tough, struggling a little bit, but I moved home and made some changes, just been training at home, kind of what I'm used to, and had a nice little summer break with my family, so I think that made the biggest difference. I just kind of had some time to relax and get back to normal, and today was good. I got a bad start, but it was perfect conditions. Track was awesome, and just kind of worked my way up and had fun. Nathan did really well. Caney, he was up there, and I'm looking forward to doing the rest of the races now that I kind of feel good, so we'll see how the rest of them go.
There's the results. Big damage done by Whibley. Mullins and Strang 4th and 5th. Caney helping to get in between them. Let's talk to Nate.
Yeah, I think I could have really started the second part of the year with good results regardless of what track we were at, but it always helps coming here to Unadilla because it's 3 hours from where I live. All my friends and family come, and it's a comfortable track for me. So I'm just happy I had a good race. Paul rode really good, and I have to give a lot of respect for him because he really deserved the win. We had a good battle. It was a lot of fun for me, but, he was the better man today, and I have to give respect.
Well, Whibley was, and he's the best man in the series so far. There you see the points lead he has now built over Strang and Mullins with only 3 races to go. Let's talk to the Axe.
I had a pretty good race with Nate Caney today. He pushed me right to the end, but I managed to pull away a little on the last lap and take the win. Hopefully, if I can keep this kind of momentum going, I can kind of carry it through the end of the season and wrap up this championship.
And Russell comes out on top in XC2. A come-from-behind run. He outdueled Buttrick down the stretch. Thomas, after a big crash, recovers to take 3rd. Let's go through it again with our Yamaha race recap, and it was a Yamaha out front. Ben Bowens grabs the whole shot, but soon Nathan Caney took the lead, and a torrid battle began. Whibley, Strang, Mullins, Caney, and Thad Duvall all in contention. Might have been the best race of the year. The lead changed hands over and over. Late in this, though, it boiled down to 2 riders, Caney versus Whibley, and they went at it. Every time someone would seize the lead, the rider in second would mount a comeback. Speaking of comebacks, Kirk Caselli from way behind would climb up to 3rd. Caleb Russell would go from 3rd to 1st in XC2. And down the stretch, Whibley pulls away from Caney and wins at Unadilla Valley Sports Center. The Can-Am GNCC belongs to Whibley and Russell. We'll be back with more racing next week. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.